Hey everyone, how are you doing? So I'm here to film a review on a book that I read recently, which is We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. Now I finished it, I think I finished it on Monday or on Sunday. I'm still not sure. But no, I finished it on Saturday actually. Saturday, there we go. So it's been almost a week, well, maybe 5 days, 4 days, 6 days. And so I wrote down a bunch of notes so I wouldn't forget what I wanted to talk to you about, basically. No. There we go. That's the rest of it. So if I look down, please excuse me, it's just that my notes will be down here. Let's get started. So the copy I read is a Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition, and it's 146 pages, which is a pretty short book. And the cover is really beautiful. I love the artwork and everything on it. It's really pretty. So I kind of divided my review in different sections. So the first one is my pre-impression, so what I thought about the book before even starting it. I had just watched one review, or I didn't even read reviews. I just saw Andy's from Estella's Revenge's review on it during the Bout of Books readathon, and she really loved it. She loved it so much she ordered another book by Shirley Jackson. I think it's Haunting of Hill House. During the same week, so she could read it during the readathon as well. And so that's pretty exciting, you know, it gets you excited about reading a book. But other than that, I hadn't really heard much about it. I didn't go looking to know much about it, and that's the way I like to go into books. If they're overhyped, if there's like a big hype around them, I won't read a book. That's as simple as that. That's why I've never read Twilight, because it's just, I'm like that. I'm weird, but yeah. So that was for my pre-impressions. My first impressions when I started reading the book. First of all, I found the beginning was a bit slow. I'm talking as the beginning, the first 2 chapters. I think it took me the same amount of time to read the first couple of chapters than to read the rest of the book, which are, I think, 8. Yeah, there are 10 chapters in total. So, I mean, I don't know why. It took me a while to get into it. I mean, the writing is beautiful. It's just I had to get used to the characters a bit, because Mary Catherine, the main character, is very, very peculiar. She's out of the ordinary. Anyways, she's a phenomenon. But that way I'm just gonna start talking about the characters. So Mary Catherine, which is this girl right here on the cover with her cat Jonas. So Mary Catherine is an 18-year-old girl who lives with her sister and her uncle in this huge house that they have. So their family all died. It's not a spoiler. I hope I'm not going to give away spoilers. It's written on the inner flap. So all her family dies one night at dinner because of the sugar. There was poison in the sugar, and the 3 of them are all that's left. So there's Mary Catherine, there's Constance, her big sister, and there's Uncle Julian, who ate the sugar, and he's very sick because of it, but he didn't die. He didn't eat enough sugar to die, and so he's been sick ever since. And the event happened 6 years ago from when the story is told. So he's been suffering for quite some time, the poor guy. So when Andy was reviewing this book, she said that Mary Catherine was a very immature girl. And I took it in the sense that she's not a very serious person, or she's not responsible enough, or she doesn't take enough responsibility, especially in the situation in which they are, you know, they're all they have left. So I would have, you know, I imagined her not like really stepping up or acting more like very carefree and all that, when she should mature a bit more. But turns out Mary Catherine is immature, but she acts like a 5-year-old when she's 18. I mean, it's pretty serious. She's completely oblivious, but the things surrounding her, she thinks her actions don't have consequences. Would have loved to give you an example, but I don't want to spoil the book for you guys. She's just, she's very odd and very disturbing. I felt really uncomfortable every single time, you know. Every single time she was talking to someone, or when we were kind of walking through her mind and what she was thinking of, because she's the one telling the story, so you're always around Mary Catherine. She made me really uncomfortable. So I don't know, she really frustrated me too, because sometimes I just wanted to go into the book and shake her and like, come on, wake up, dude, come on, what are you doing? So yeah, that's for Mary Catherine. Constance, her older sister, I think she's 28 or 29 in the book. I felt really bad for her because she kind of stepped up and became the responsible of the family. She takes care of their sick uncle, who's sometimes he's really sick, he can't get out of bed, he's on a wheelchair, he forgets things sometimes, and he's pretty sick. So she just, when he's sick, she sits next to him in bed and she stays there with him. So she's a very caring person, and she takes care of her younger sister, and she talks to her. Sometimes when her sister doesn't understand what's going on, she explains it to her, you know, like a mother would explain to her child. Things like, it's happening because of that and stuff like that. So I really like Constance in this sense, but I like all my characters to be kind of really tough, be very courageous, because sometimes I'm not tough enough, or I'm not courageous enough, and it's nice to see that at least it's possible in books. So that kind of, I didn't like her. I mean, I liked her, but I didn't love her because of that. And then there's Uncle Julian. Poor Uncle Julian, he broke my heart. I just wanted to go into this book and give him a huge hug, because honestly, I would have wished that he passed away with the rest of the family than the suffering he was going through. And I mean, he kept on, like, the consequences of the poison just are still living with him 6 years after the event and all that. So I ended up giving the book 4 out of 5. I don't know whether I should give it a 3.5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5, but on Goodreads, you know, you can't give half stars, so that made my job really easy. Gave it 4 out of 5 stars. My favorite part about this book was Shirley Jackson's writing, and how she writes down everything, how she's an amazing writer. Sometimes the way she formulates sentences is beautiful, and I wish I had kind of put some post-its on passages that I really liked, but I forgot, I'm sorry. But yeah, it's just the characters that I had a hard time clicking with. The plot was pretty intriguing. And the whole book was, it's not creepy as in like scary or anything, but it's very unsettling. You feel uncomfortable reading this book, a bit disturbed, just the way, I guess it's Mary Catherine, because she's the one telling the story, so you're always around her. And I mean, look at her eyes on this cover. Look at her sister's eyes, how she's scared, and look at her. She's just, oh my god. Anyways, so then I read this book, and my Goodreads is linked to my Facebook, so whenever I read something and I marked it as read, it shows up on my Facebook. So I had a friend who told me at work, she's like, oh, I saw you read this, how did you like it and everything. I was like, it was pretty disturbing. I mean, she made me uncomfortable, and I told her what I told you guys. And so she was like, you know what, I felt it was a bit whimsical. And it's actually true, because in what sense? I mean, throughout the whole book, you feel like you're floating on a cloud. Like, is it, are you really reading that? Is this really happening? You're kind of, it's really, you feel like you're floating basically throughout this book. And that's why I think whimsical is a really good term to sum up this book. So that's my review for you guys. I know it's a bit long, but I should be getting used to my videos by now. I would recommend you read this book. I mean, I didn't love it like Andy did, but I really liked it. I think it was a good book. And you should definitely give it a try. I mean, it's really short, so you'll read it in no time. And I'm a slow reader, and I read it in a week. I know, the shame, but as I told you, the beginning was a bit slow, but if you get past that, it will all be okay. It's a really nice story. And so yeah, I wish I could have discussed it more with you guys. I really wanted to talk more about it, but I mean, I'm gonna have to spoil the book for you. And I don't really want to get into it since it's really short too, so I don't want to give a lot of details even if it's at the beginning, because, you know, since it's short, things happen faster. So yeah, hope you have a great day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!